Doing here today. We set forth on May the 20th,
21st.
21st, and we are here to talk about balls, just like we did last week and the year before, week before, and the week before, and the week before, and the week before. Unfortunately, joined with me once again is Wayne Goldsworthy. How are you doing today, sir?
Good. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I already asked. I
Good.
already
How are
answered
you?
That,
That
so-
is a very bland and right to the point.
Yes.
Speaking, opening topic, let's talk about our person of the week from last week. I picked Jalen Brunson. Didn't go too well. He had a good game number 6 against Indiana, but he got hurt and did not play. Who was your person of the week a week ago?
I don't remember.
I think it was Nikola Jokic, which again
Yeah.
didn't go too well. So we'll try to be better with our people of the weeks. We're not getting too many W's yet. Speaking, before we get in, I just saw it on the right way here. Penn State, $700 million renovation to Beaver Stadium.
Why? Don't know.
I don't know why either. It's a fine stadium
maybe
already.
that's why. Maybe that's why.
Let's destroy a tradition with
Yeah.
renovations.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, I don't
maybe
know.
this is why tuition's so high.
That'll be a lot of it. Maybe it's just me, but if I go to a stadium, I care about its old
Like
and
the
its
history.
It's
of
history. I'm
Penn
not.
State,
I never
like,
really look at a stadium like.
touching children. I mean,
I never really look at a stadium and I'm like, man, this thing's so new, because like it's not an art show.
like, I don't like literally everybody. Like, I saw 3 of the posts as soon as it was confirmed. Literally, all the comments are like, "Why are we doing this?"
Yeah.
Like, leave
Seven-
the stadium though. It was perfectly fine.
$700 million is a little bit of money too, just a little bit.
For the university, that's like pocket change.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
So the NBA playoffs are moving on to the conference finals. For the next 2 weeks, we'll have a game every single day, and then it'll be the NBA finals. It's the Pacers, it's the Celtics, it's the Nuggets. It's not the Nuggets. It's the Timberwolves. It is the Dallas Mavericks. Before we get in, what's your just overall quick thoughts on these matchups in the conference finals? Just overall quick, what do you take away from these games?
Timberwolves Mavs is going to be a great matchup, and Celtics Pacers. Why are the Pacers here?
Because they beat 2 teams on the way here. And Indiana.
I need them to play a team who's not injured though.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Indiana to play a team that's healthy, especially the level of Boston. But let's get into these.
That's like the Knicks and like the Celtics are up here, and then the injured Knicks are like down here. It's gonna be like a.
Yeah, so Indiana has had a very easy cakewalk. It will not be a cakewalk to get to the finals against the NBA's number 1 seed in Boston Celtics.
Until Jason Tatum gets hurt and then Jaylen Brown gets hurt.
Well, Porzingis
and
is
then-
already hurt.
Well, Porzingis is
believe.
Porzingis.
He's a good player though.
I know.
So let's go with the second round.
Pingus.
First off, my Dallas Mavericks take down the Oklahoma City Thunder. My Mavs, what a series for Dallas. Kyrie Irving came out and said it was the hardest series he's ever played in, which is interesting. Maybe just because Lou Dort decided, I'm not going to play shooting guard, I'm going to play fullback in this series, and just decide to go at everybody and anyone. If there's a guy that could play in the NFL, it's Lou Dort. He's pretty darn close to doing it in that series against Dallas. He was all over the Mavs in a bad way. So Dallas moves on.
Also, Kyrie is 14-0,
14-0
15-0 on
in
closing
closeout games.
opportunities.
Closeout game. So if you're Minnesota, do not get down in the series because it is over. Over. Kyrie Irving has never blown a lead in his career in the postseason. So, Minnesota. Not Minnesota. What am I saying? I just
The Timberwolves.
too much freak joke. Kane. The Dallas Mavericks were able to move on against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Look, Dallas is so dangerous just because of the offense allows role players to play well. So many times in the playoffs, you hear the phrase, role players' roles are elevated. And if you don't have a scheme that can allow your role players' roles to be elevated, you just expect it for them to do it by themselves. They're role players for a reason. You got to set them up for success.
That's crazy. That's almost 100-point difference. That's insane.
Yeah. So Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, they completely, I would say, contrast each other. They have an opener in Luka who led the league this year in scoring in the first quarter,
And then
a
they have a
closer
closer.
in Kyrie who led the league in scoring in the fourth quarter. So if you want to get Dallas, you got to get him in the second and third quarter. even if you do get them in the second quarter like Oklahoma City did, up by 16, they're going to come back, and they can come back very, very quickly. Luka Doncic is not shooting efficiently in these playoffs at all. He's not really playing all that great. Sure, he's scoring a lot of points. All right, he's averaging a good amount of points, but push comes to shove, he's not the Luka we know. And it's scary to think that they have not even gotten to a Game 7 yet against the Thunder and the Clippers, who were two of the teams expected to make a run. And Dallas took them both in 6. Your takeaway from this series?
First, gonna congratulate the Mavs, definitely.
No.
I mean, you kind of have
Just
to.
send them a letter?
Yeah, why not?
A birthday card?
Great series against one of. Well, they were the top seed. So yeah, the best team in the West. Very young squad.
Mm-hmm.
Very good with them to take them down.
Okay.
Kyrie being Kyrie, I guess.
Yeah, Kyrie wasn't even that good in this series. He had 2 games that just stunk, where he scored 9 points and 8 points. Kyrie Irving, we need him to be more aggressive if the Dallas Mavericks are expected to move on in this series or against Minnesota. He has to be, of course, more aggressive. But at the same time, when he's passive and he can get other guys involved, and P.J. Washington's putting up 20 a game and Derek Jones had 15 in the first half, I've said it a million times, either on this show or not, you don't really need a third guy every game. You need 3 third guys that can rotate every third game. Right? Makes sense? That you don't really need 1 third guy that can be the third guy for 82 games. It's fine if, this guy isn't playing well, this guy isn't playing well. We need one of the 3 of you to play well every third game. And then you fill up the games. And we'll have Luka and Kyrie do what they do. And I don't think it could be understated how Dallas entered the postseason 18-2, getting into the playoffs. And the momentum continued and continued and continued. And now they have not really struggled at all. Besides Boston, they're the only team left that has not been to a Game 7. Right? Every team that are still playing has been to a Game number 7, which is only 2. But besides Boston.
Which is only 50% of the teams right now.
Besides Boston. But Dallas is well rested. They're able to go. They had a day more rest. And they have not had home court advantage in this postseason. They're not going to have home court advantage coming up against Minnesota. And if they play Boston in the finals, they're not going to have home court advantage. I'd just like to say, pat on my back. Not yet, but I did predict Celtics Mavs NBA Finals, which were looking pretty good. Can you recall your finals prediction? If not, then don't.
I don't know it right now. I can find it, though.
So moving on to the Knicks and the Pacers. Look, this was shocking. I was so excited for this game. Madison Square Garden, game number 7. Here we go. I expected a classic game, and it was great in the beginning. Indiana shot phenomenal. They broke a record for the highest field goal percentage in a game in playoff history, which is just wild. They had a stretch there where they were 23 of 27 shooting the basketball. Just absolutely phenomenal from the field. At the same time, the Knicks could not defend. Too many easy buckets. And in that game, of course, New York led. Indiana led. There was runs from New York in that game. The Knicks got runs. They got it within 6. They got it within 7. And every time the crowd reacted and was able to get themselves back in it, the Pacers just answered back with a 3. They answered back at a 7-2 run. They answered back on runs that just stopped anything and everything the Knicks had to offer. Early on, though, the plus to this game, this was a good 90s game. This was physical. This was loose balls. This was guys getting hurt. Maybe it's cynical, but I like to see a guy on the ground getting bruised up. Right? I like to see a guy in a little bit of a pain. Shows that they care. Right? And I'm not the biggest old head in the world. But
I mean, you're pretty old.
But seeing Knicks Pacers, how much they defended in that game, just phenomenal.
Continue.
You're not going to ruin the integrity of this show with an AirPod.
I'm trying to figure
okay, my bad, son. I thought
NBA
I was going to say.
I'm literally going on this to figure out when we said it.
Sorry. But yeah, look, All credit to Indiana, and nobody's given them a shot in this series against Boston. Absolutely, nobody's given them a shot in the series against the Boston Celtics. I'll give them a shot. I'll give them a shot. I think Indiana could force 6, and when we get into our prediction, I think I'll go 6 or 7. Indiana's a really good team. They're not getting recognized enough because they're Indiana, and it's the middle of freaking nowhere. It's the Pacers. Who really cares, right, with Indiana? But at the end of the day, the Pacers are a good team, no matter if you care about them or not. They're a very, very, very good team, and you got to be scared. You got to be scared if you're Boston because they have not seen a team like Indiana yet. A team that is not the most talented, but how do they make up for that? They shoot the 3 ball really well. Their pace is phenomenal. They have so many guys that are careless or can share the basketball at will. That's the difference from Indiana. They can share the ball at will every single night. It makes them so dangerous. We'll talk about the Timberwolves and the Denver Nuggets. Look, Minnesota, it was a concerted effort from everybody that got it done. It's just, Anthony Edwards did not play good in the first half. He did not play good. Gobert didn't play good. Nobody played good. They were down 20 points in the first half. And teams down 15 or more at halftime in Game 7s, 0-20. Now, 1-20. Minnesota's defense shut down Nikola Jokic in the second half. More importantly, shut down Jamal Murray. Michael Porter Jr. was never able to get on fire. He shot the ball like hell, like he always does, was not able to hit shots. The big thing for me, the end of the bench for Denver, 14 minutes, 0 points. You can't put the ball in the basket once, and how do you expect to survive when your your offense and your bench doesn't contribute? Jokic played a great basketball game, but he didn't have that takeover Jokic moment. And I think that's what cost Denver. Look, we can overreact all we want. They're still in a really good spot. They're still the defending champs. But what Minnesota did down 20 in a first half in Game 7, incredible. Probably the biggest accomplishment of this season. What's your takeaway from that series?
What series?
Nuggets and Wolves.
Ooh, yeah. Nail biter, that's for sure. Timberwolves got up 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0,
yeah.
2-0, and then 3-2.
Yeah, and then Nuggets came all the way back, almost from the dead. Went to Game 7, very exciting series. And the Timberwolves closed out by 98-9. So 8 points in Game 7. Very close game, very good series.
There's no takeaways there. You just kind of
Yeah,
retold
no,
what happened. Okay. Let's move on to our top 5 most likely finals MVPs.
Oh, yeah, I went back and found what I had in the finals.
What'd you
I had
have?
the Timberwolves and the Celtics.
You're probably looking better than me right now.
So we both have the Celtics. It's just who
wins the series.
Yeah.
Who wins the series? Let's get into this top 5. We have a list here for you. Top 5 most likely players to win finals MVP. We're down to 4 teams. It's a lot more concentrated to kind of figure out who is going to be a finals MVP. And it's fun to figure out, who will be a finals MVP. It just transforms the legacy that if you're a guy like a Jason Tatum or somebody that's kind of on the edge, is he a superstar top 5 guy? He wins the finals MVP. There's no debate. He's a top 3-5 player in the league. So let's get into this. 4 teams to choose from. I will tell you right now, I did not have anybody from the Indiana Pacers on my list. So,
Actually,
yeah.
There's no way.
Why?
There's no way.
Let's get to number 5.
I had Pascal Siakam. Okay.
At number 5, I have Derek White as my number 5 spot. The main thing is, first off, he's leading Boston in scoring in the playoffs, believe it or not. And second off, he's on the overwhelming favorite to win the finals. So to be finals MVP, you got to win the finals, right? And Derek White being on the team that has over a 50% chance right now to win the finals, it's an easy pick for me. So I'll go Derek White at number 5.
My number 5, I have Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown at number 5. Okay. It's interesting. I disagree entirely. Why at number 5 for old JB?
Because I feel like the other 4, if
No
they
fucking
win final,
shit.
they definitely have a better chance than Jaylen Brown. So
Okay. But I think
it's
Boston...
not like he's a bad player on the Celtics. It's just this, if these
Boston's-
other four win the finals.
But that's not the thing. If is a lot less chance. That's why there'll be no Pacers on the list if you're smart,
yeah,
because they're not going to make the finals probably. So I'll tell you right now, Jaylen Brown is way high on my list, just because he's on the Celtics. When you look at
yeah, I probably should.
when you look at
all
no,
right.
keep it. You can't change anytime I
Okay.
own you. You look at Dallas and Minnesota. There's a 50% chance they win that. There's a 50% chance your guy is out and not even in the finals. So it wouldn't even be bad to take 5 Celtics. At the end of the day, I'm not going to, but yeah. My number 4 is Anthony Edwards at number 4. Another, maybe the best player left in a postseason, just based on pure play over the last couple of playoffs. But at the same time, in Minnesota, Dallas and Minnesota so close, series-wise and whatnot. I give Anthony Edwards the advantage over Luka just because I think when you're close and series-wise, in probability to win, I'll take the better player. Luka's got a better chance to win Finals MVP if they both make it. The problem is, you don't know who's going to make it, but I'll go Anthony Edwards at number 4. Who you got?
Number 4, I have Kyrie.
Kyrie Irving. Interesting. So you have 3 spots left. I'm kind of trying to think. Okay, one guy might get left off. Kyrie at 4, why?
Great closer, as already known. When Luka is not scoring the greatest, well, neither is Kyrie. Whatever. There's always Kyrie there as another option. Luka has not been shooting great from the field so far in this postseason, and Kyrie has been able to help up with that, and so has the other supporting cast, while Kyrie has been the leading scorer outside of Luka.
Okay, it's a good take. Yeah, Kyrie's huge in these big moments. One of the most clutch players of all time. That's good there. I don't have Kyrie on my list, because again, if Dallas makes it, I don't think Kyrie Irving can outplay.
Yeah, my list is literally he's just left out.
I really can't have Kyrie outplay Luka in the finals if they make it. I don't have that much confidence in Dallas making it. My number 3 spot is Luka Doncic. I think he is the best overall player still left in the postseason. And let's just say if everybody had a 25% chance to win the finals, Luka would be number 1 on my finals MVP. Probably Anthony Edwards at number 2. Just not how it works, right? It's just not how it works. But Luka he's playing bad. He's got back-to-back triple-doubles, and the Mavs are 2-0 in those games. So bad is 30, 11, and 10. I'll take bad every time. If he averages a triple-double or close to that, it doesn't matter what percent shooting, he'll win the finals MVP.
For my number 3, I also have Luka. So,
Okay.
You literally explained it.
Okay. Top 2. My top 2 are both on the same team. My number 2 is Jaylen Brown, and he's not too far off from Jason Tatum. I could see Jaylen Brown having a good couple of games, averaging 27, and having a takeover type moment in one of the games.
Adam might have the same dribbling moves as Jaylen Brown.
He might.
Just use one hand and cross over.
Yeah, but I think with Jaylen Brown, Boston to me is just so overwhelmingly the favorite, according to everybody, the sports books and whatnot, that I got to give Jaylen Brown the number 2 nod. Again, if everybody had a 25% chance, he wouldn't be on this list, right? But since he's playing in Boston, I think it's either him or the guy at number 1, which I think you would expect who's number 1. But yeah, Jaylen Brown at number 2. He's not the number 1 guy, but Boston's so overwhelmingly the favorite that I have to put him at number 2.
At my number 2, I have Ant. Reason being, Celtics probably gonna make it.
Why'd you change your answer? I saw this Anthony Edwards number 1.
Yeah.
Why'd you change it? Can never stick to your guns.
Because when I went down here with Jaylen Brown, you were like, oh, well, this, whoever makes the finals, this and that, if makes a different thing. So I was like, okay, then there's no point in me having Ant as 1. Because the Celtics are already guaranteed to make the finals. So it's like, why leave with what I had? So I have Ant. Great supporting cast around him. You think would win this series against the Mavs.
No,
probably
you
going to
would
go to
not.
Game 7. But
You would not think he would win. He's not. You need to imply context. You're not even on the camera, so the people watching are so confused on what's happening. Number 1, it is hot as hell in this room. Just if you would like to know, I'm sweating. Maybe because these big-ass lights are staring
Because
me
you
in
have
the
a
face.
long sleeve shirt on.
It's hot. But anyway, let's go to number 1. Jason Tatum. Kobe Bryant's biggest fan. He's been the favorite to win Finals MVP for 3 years in a row now. They better freaking win the championship this year, or some gonna be some real problems in Boston. But he's the best player on the best team. I mean, it's not really much to look at or debate.
Yeah, I also have Jason Tatum at number 1. So
Okay, I want to bring up. I want to go off script here a little bit. We're moving quickly through this, so I'll bring up a debate. We'll probably make this a quicker episode, probably only about 35 minutes or whatnot, just because NFL's kind of dying down, and we're not the biggest NBA guys. So let's ask a
we
question.
could rank our top 10 at a certain position in the NFL,
Maybe.
or we could, give thoughts about the NCAA 25 trailer. Well,
We can.
and like what their cover is, and
Yeah, we can talk about that. But quickly here, if Boston does not win the championship, would you consider moving Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown, and if so, who?
I think if you have to move one of them, I think it'd be Jaylen Brown.
Of course, yeah. But would that be a possibility?
I don't think it. I think so. They're gonna make the finals. If they lose in the finals, I feel like they just need to. They have like everything. How would you even?
What I'm saying is, would you try? We've seen it done plenty of times. Would you try to kind of move Jaylen Brown and some other pieces for a huge star, for a Giannis Antetokounmpo type high end? Let's pair him with Giannis, or would you just continue with what they got?
That's tough because I feel like if you just go straight with Giannis, you have so you'd have Jason Tatum. Giannis,
This is not saying this is what ever
Porzingis,
happened.
Drew Holiday, and Derek White probably.
Mm-hmm. Or
I mean, yeah,
or
they're probably gonna.
I don't know. This is completely all skeptic, but I don't know if Steph Curry will finish his career in Golden State. That's an option, if they don't win it. But I think even if they don't win it, you got to
I think
understand.
even if they don't, they just try and get more better depth players, so they have more.
You got to understand too. Being in the finals is still you're the second team out of 30. That's still one.
I mean, they've been a great team the past couple of years. They just had some
it's still a top 5% team.
They lost to the Heat twice in the past 4 years in the
So they've
playoffs.
They've been there, right? They've been there. They've done.
They
that.
are that team. They've just had bad stuff happen to them when it comes to the playoffs.
I just don't think they can get much better than what they currently have.
I mean, when you think about
You really can't get too much better.
Yeah, but you can get better, like you said, adding Giannis, but you have to trade away all your depth.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be like what the Suns did when they made the playoffs to trade for KD and get Kevin Durant. They lose a whole bunch of depth, so it's literally just your starters, and then after that, you're kind of screwed.
And we've seen in the past, the last time,
Like the Nets, yeah, granted they haven't made the playoffs, but they have key starters and great depth, which helps them when their starters get tired. So it's like
the last time we've seen a superstar get traded and that kind of we'll give away our young guys and picks, and it actually worked. Probably Anthony Davis on the Lakers, where they were able to win a championship with him. Besides from that, I mean, James Harden.
That was also the bubble, so
what? It's still a freaking year. The bubble is the purest of basketball.
Yeah, but there's no crowd.
So
No
that isn't.
effect.
There's no crowd.
Didn't matter.
There's no pressure. It's just play ball.
Yeah, well, the pressure is a key source of basketball.
I know, but so do you just not want him to try?
No, it always matters, but
If you get a bunch of NBA guys playing at the park, they're going to play so much better than what they do in a game.
yeah, obviously.
So it's just it was of course different, but still a championship. Championship's a championship, no matter what. And let's not say the Lakers, they were 56-13 before COVID. So it's not like they sucked. They were the 1 seed. I mean, they were the number 1 team in the NBA, and they still ran through them and won the finals. Anyway,
Don't run through you.
I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, let's talk about
Who the average Malachi, bro? Who let bro on this podcast?
let's talk about NCAA EA football, whatever it's called, 25. That's-
You
I-
better make him run laps tonight.
He's not going to be there. He's at 7th and 8th grade. Let's couple of questions for you. Let's just pretend you're going to buy the game because I'm not getting an old thing.
Yeah.
Just pretend you have it, okay? What's the first play you're running?
First play.
First play after an 11-year break. First play. You get out of that huddle. Set. Green 18. Green 18. Hot. What's the first play?
Either a Hail Mary or a nice play action post route.
Play action post route or a Hail Mary is the first play?
Yeah.
No, you gotta go. You have to go. The greatest play in video game history. 4 verts all day. 4 verticals. Just such an easy.
That's what a Hail Mary is half the time.
No,
Is
it's
4
not.
verticals.
Hail Mary is that way. 4 verts is boom, boom, boom.
Oh, my bad.
boom,
They
boom.
curl in a little bit. My bad.
Yeah. So, my first play is a QB kneel. Show respect for the 11
You
years.
saw that tweet from that one guy. He goes, the first play I'm running is a QB kneel so I can soak in the moments.
No, my first play would probably be 4 verts or tight end attack. I'm so interested in this college football game, of course, like everybody in the world is. Just college football is so much more to it than the NFL. When you make an NFL game.
I hope they don't make college every year. I hope they do it
Yeah,
once every
hopefully not.
4 years. So that way you actually have like the reclasses and all this.
Yeah. But in the NFL, you make an NFL game, it's kind of just the NFL. College football, you have to have the traditions. And it's different. College football, if I could describe college football in one word, it's fun.
7 o'clock at night in September when my
It's not one word.
5-star quarterback gets traded or goes
Gets
to the
traded.
trade, gets $10 million from FSU, and I play them week 1. Start playing the war chant.
But yeah, college football, it's fun. It's not as serious as the NFL. It's kids playing ball, right? It's just a bunch of teenagers playing ball. And I think that's what the EA game's going to be. And I think they're going to put a lot more attention into this game. And to all the people saying, man, it's just going to be another Madden, blah, blah, blah. It's just not
made
true.
off of Madden or Frostbite, whatever they are, the Madden something. They run it off of Madden to base it like Madden, but it's not going to be 1,000% like Madden.
Yeah, it's not.
They're going to make a difference. It's college. It's a whole different gameplay scenario than what the NFL is.
And I quite literally say
they only used it because it was already set up for player animations and all this stuff.
This is the biggest game EA is going to ever drop. I mean, this is the fate of their company. Madden is dying.
Madden's already been dead for like 3 years.
Every year they lose more and more fan base people. And listen, every year I've been like, gotta get the new Madden. I don't even care. I'm not going to get Madden 25. Right? My dad will probably buy it and I'll play it for a week. Right? And
the only reason I buy new Maddens is for for roster updates. But besides that, if you just import the current rosters, you literally don't even have to go buy a new Madden.
So Madden's dying, and this is a chance for EA to really salvage their reputation and their game catalog and really take themselves to the next level. But this has just been so long, and I love how long they're taking. That
they are milking. They are just like, we're gonna drop this.
That's how you get the best games. And it's coming out July 19th. But
then they're gonna be like, hold on, guys, we had a problem. It's gonna come out July 27th now, or something like that.
I just think the trailer, first off, was phenomenal. What a trailer! The best compliment trailer could possibly get. My one friend Luke Peters said, "Not all those clips are real. Not all those clips are from the game, right?" That's how good the graphics were, that he thought they were real clips.
This guy's dumb.
That's the biggest...
Average Luke Peters moment. This guy takes AP classes.
That's the biggest compliment.
The graphics.
That's the biggest compliment the game could get, that the graphics are that good that it looks like you're really playing. College football is fun and it's atmosphere. Those are the two things in college football. You have to make it like you're at the stadium. You have to hear there's just the little things make the game.
Northwestern at the Penn State whiteout. And
Though-
you got to make like the screen shake when you're in it. Like if you're in a night game and it's a big game, like if you're at Florida State or you're
If you
at
remember
Penn
in-
State whiteout game, or if you're like in Ohio State, you got to make the TV screen start shaking. You got to get like your momentum's all left up. Like it doesn't matter. You got to have your routes squiggly. You got to like.
I hear
home field advantage is real in college.
I hear if you buy the deluxe version, there will be a guy that anytime you play in a loud stadium just goes into gear and yells. Ah! That's what I hear. They're going to hire a guy. What I really want, and I don't know if it's ever going to happen, I like crowds. I don't know what it is. I love hearing loud crowds. Like I used to always watch loudest crowd pops in sports history. Just hearing everybody going.
Doc,
There
I need
needs
to go to a Penn State whiteout game here.
there needs to be a kind of thing that you can switch on, that if maybe if you have headphones or something, where you can turn that crowd volume all the way up and it's just blaring.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I turn crowd volume up to 100 on a Madden or whatever. It's
all
loud.
you hear is it's like the same animations every single year.
And what they need, what they really need after a big play, the
They
crowd
also
needs to
need
go
like
nuts.
school chants. Like okay, so Penn State they go we are Penn. And
They
like,
probably will.
like all the other
They need-
teams that have these like school chants and everything.
The crowd does not change in volume if you make a big play.
Yeah. No.
What I want in like Madden or anything, when you make a big play, you ever see the camera starts to kind of shake?
Yeah, if it's
And
like
the
if
crowds-
it's like 4th down and 3 and
Uh-huh.
you're at like the 50-yard line
And the camera's going a
you
little
need
bit nuts.
and there's a minute left in the game, you need to get this to get into field goal range, and if you make it, the crowd needs to go wild and
that just doesn't happen. Like they might yell a little bit, but it's not like
yeah.
I want the commentators when they speak to have to like yell over the crowd and just have it be absolutely nuts, which I think's going to be great. Also, it's new, right? It's a new type of game, so that makes it a lot more interesting. That it's new, it's first time in 11 years, and EA or NCAA 14 is $300 freaking dollars. So I mean, this is a lot cheaper, which is weird that you get a game that's 12 years older and it's cheaper. But yeah,
That's like antique cars versus newer cars.
Yeah.
There's antique cars that sell for a lot just because of good condition and everything.
yeah. So yeah, that's it's gonna be a great game. I hope at least. And the main thing I like, they had a thing called College Football Revamped, which was basically some mods. I was only on the PC version. But it was some mods that they made the 12-team playoff. They made new logos and whatnot. They brought
12-team play. I always forget that that's
Yeah.
happening next year. That's gonna be great.
they brought some of those guys that worked on that, which usually EA in the past would shun that and be like, "Oh, you're destroying our game," blah blah blah. They brought the guys that kind of worked on the game and fixed it, and they had them working on their game. But I don't know. College football is a vibe sport. It's not really about what happens on the field. It's a vibe sport. And EA, they have to be full in on getting down the
that's also
vibe.
something I have to ask you. How do you feel about both of the covers that they have for the deluxe edition, and
Looks delicious. It's fine. It's tough. There's not many huge names in college football. I just don't know if Donovan Edwards is like that. Is he like that? Like is he a?
I don't know if he's covered worthy. He's a great player, obviously. But
I think
mean,
they just want to include a.
Well, he's gonna
Michigan
be.
guy.
They wanted to include a Michigan guy because they just won the national championship, and also he was a great running back when Blake Corum got hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's
He
great
was
in the national
amazing.
side of the game. He reminds me of Isaiah Pacheco
Yeah.
for some reason.
Also, how do you feel that Nick Saban was not on any cover for considering he just retired and he's one of the best college?
I mean, college for this game's going to be for the younger generation. They're not really too big into Nick Saban and coaches. I love the guy. My pick would have been regular cover, but like
Is there even a Penn State
have the
player on that?
delish. Now I say delish. The deluxe
delicious.
deluxe edition be like a Heisman edition and kind of pay homage to the last 11
Yeah, that
years.
was what everybody was talking about, and get all of the
All the
Heisman winners, like Marcus Mariota,
Yeah.
Jameis Winston, Joe Burrow, then everybody like that.
So yeah, but yeah, it looks great. The game looks great. I would just be fine.
I haven't even watched the trailer.
I'm so
Do they have
excited
the
for this
trailer
game. I'm so excited for the game. I would be just fine if it's a carbon copy of Madden, but the graphics are just better and it's college football players. Like I'm fine with that. Like my expectations are not really high, because if you would have told somebody in 2018 hey, you're gonna have a college football game. Like, no freaking way, right? And it's finally here.
In 2018, the announcers probably knew about the game. Like, the commentators knew.
Whoa. But yeah, so
Boise State.
you need to have the traditions of college football be in this. You need to have what's going to make the game. You need to have Lee Corso putting on the headgear on College Game Day if you have a type of game. You need to have, if your game's on CBS.
Oh, yeah, they also have all the accessories. Like, they have tucked-up jerseys, sleeves, spats, and actual brand deals, like, for the players. That's gonna
You
be
need
cool.
to have an SEC scoreboard or a CBS scoreboard if it's on CBS, if it's on Fox. You need to have that to make the game real. You need to have Michigan coming out hitting the banner. You need to have Penn State coming out locking arms, right? You need to have Wisconsin singing jump around. All the traditions that make Penn State so phenomenal, you need to have it in the game, right?
Those jerseys for Penn State.
You
look
need to
a
have
little,
Florida
too
State.
blue.
You need to have Florida State in the war chant. I don't think LSU will sing neck, which I don't think that'd be approved for the game. But that'd be pretty cool if they did. It might just be a little bit too inappropriate.
Dude, Ohio State's getting shit on in all of this. Oh my god.
But yeah, it's a great game. What I do notice is so in the trailer they have Iowa. Let's see if we can find it here. Iowa is waving to the fans,
Where's
waving
the
to
hospital?
the hospital.
Why would they face the camera this way and not like angle it a little bit?
So in the EA universe, there are terminally ill kids that die
Okay.
in the EA Sports universe. Just something there's there. So
that's like Iowa's biggest tradition. They do it every
Obviously.
game. So I mean, obviously they're gonna add it.
I
That
know,
was
it's just
okay.
funny.
That's finally. That's something they've needed to fix in freaking
One
Madden,
tap?
bruh. No, not the one tap, but the toe. You ever see them like they'll run to the sideline and then they stop, and when they stop they drop the ball, or if they get a catch and it's
Yeah.
like 1 foot out of bounds. It's like NFL players do this routinely, and you're gonna tell me a Madden player can't do this? Like,
they need to have less animation base.
dude, Jalen Mills getting rocked was like one of the.
They need to have less animation base. This has got to be smooth, right? There cannot be in Madden too many times. You get an animation, you kind of just the gameplay looks completely different. You just can't have that in this game, and I'm looking forward to it. July 16th is the early release. July 19th.
Are you getting early release?
I think we are because it's like $150 or something, and you get Madden and college football and whatever.
That's
blah,
why
blah, blah.
like every single one of my friends are getting it because they get Madden 25 included, and you save like $20 just buying the $150 version. So it's like,
yeah, and so yeah, I think that's gonna be it for talking about balls today. A little bit of a shorter episode. I'm a little bit sluggish this afternoon, so we'll come back next week. Try to get you some better content.
Just real quick, the 4 teams.
Yeah, so let's before
just
we
do
leave
this
for
real
about a
quick.
minute. First off, we'll do our top 4 teams. Likelihood to win the finals. So my number 4 is the Pacers.
My number 4 is also the Pacers.
I'm biased, but I'll go 3 Timberwolves.
Okay, my 3 are the Mavs.
Okay, I'll go Timberwolves 2 and Celtics 1.
Yeah, I have mine flipped. I have the Timberwolves 1, Celtics 2.
Wow. Timberwolves 1, Celtics 2. So
I'm super high on the Timberwolves. They'll probably let me down.
my
but, I mean-
updated playoff predictions, I have Celtics in 6, Mavs 7, Mavs in 7, sorry.
Whoa.
And then Celtics in 5 against Dallas in the finals.
All right. For me, I'm going to have Celtics in 6. Obviously, it's the Pacers. Timberwolves in 7. And then in the NBA Finals, Celtics in 7.
But you have Timberwolves as the most likely team to win the finals?
Yeah.
And they don't
But
win your finals?
no, that's my most likely team to win. But what I think is going to happen is
Okay.
Celtics are going to win in
All right.
7 if the Timber. If
That's
they
going to do
beat
it for
Timberwolves.
talking about balls. Just under 40 minutes. We'll see you next week.
When Schlagatron this